Come on in. All right. Welcome, Soul Tribe. Come on in the room. I'm so excited to see everybody. This is a special treat for me and for the Soul Tribe. Welcome. Come in, check in, let us know where you're hailing from. So many people were in the background waiting for us. Thank you. Come on in the room, family. I want to give you some time to get you a nice drink, get you a notepad, get a pencil, pen, whatever you need to write down your questions because we have a special guest today. And I'm so honored to have him here. I've had him here many, many times on the show, but it's my honor and great pleasure to bring him back, to introduce to you all who don't know him, and to present to others of you who know him, a very dear friend. You know who I'm speaking of. Come on in the room and we'll get started in just 1 minute. I will acknowledge you all. All right, Jerry. See you, Brother Jerry. Come on in the room. So many of you are here ready to hear our special guest. Over 100 people in the chat. Keep checking in. All right, Two-Tone. Two-Tone says, I just recently found out about your special guest. I would like to get in contact with him. And with you, Sue and John, your special guests are people I'd like to talk to. You're the one who spray painted I Am David Anthony Kennedy's grandson on Ethel King's show. Oh, okay. Come on in, family. Said, I believe him. All right. Awesome. Grand Rising, Cha-Cha. Come on in. We're not going to keep you long. Thank you for our newest member. Rice Eating is in the house. Welcome. Welcome, Lonnie. So good to see you. Stolen Identity Unveiled is a book that the real John F. Kennedy Jr. wrote. Come on in. Hey, family. Hi, Millard. Hi, Janie. Gratitude, Sister Deborah says. Come on in.
From currencies to investments divine.
I see you, soul family.
She's helping her tribe to realize.
The tribe is checking in. Come on in, tribe.
Ancient and new.
Listen. This is the Dr. Kia Pruitt Soul Tribe, but we're also part of the Lions, John F. Kennedy Jr.'s tribe. So come on in. If the Lions are in the house, check in. If the Soul Tribe is in the house, check in. One big happy family. Coming in the room today. You're welcome, Kathy. She says, thank you for helping, John. It's my pleasure. Hey, Logical. Copper Granny's in the house. Kimberly's in the house. Supreme Rising, everybody. We'll get started in a few minutes. Yes. Yes. Thank you for your prayers. We pray for protection for John F. Kennedy Jr. and his family. And Rockin' Robin. Hey. John Jr. is the best. Hey, 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 John and Kia, Manifesto says. Come on. Yes. Hi, Sister Kimberly. Sister Kimberly. Come on in the room, family. All right, Soul Tribe. We got over 200 people in the house checking in. This is the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. This is Wednesday, the day for which we've been waiting. Oh my God, I was excited all week. And even last week, because I knew he was coming on this week, but I didn't want to, spill the beans. I am so excited. So let me calm down. It is Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2026, and the time is 3:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a very special guest on today. He's my friend and brother. I call him brother and he calls me sister. Yes, we check in with each other. We send each other texts. We every now and then send each other messages. I love this young man. And I told you all earlier on the show, he's very dear to my heart. So thank you so much for welcoming this gentleman. Thank you for all of you agreeing to be honorable and respectful, because this is an important show. Today, we are going to introduce to some and present to others John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Yeah, you heard it right. JFK Jr., the son, the true living son of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr., who was a former president. He's here today. Now, his government name that was given to him is David Keith Quigley. But his real name, that's the name that the people that had him captive, gave him, David Keith Quigley. And it was a part of the protection program so that people wouldn't bother him. Well, they weren't supposed to be bothering him, but I'll let him tell his story. David Keith Quigley, also known as and is the true living son of President John Kennedy, is here today on the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. We are honored. We are grateful, right? We are beyond words that he agreed to come on. We've had him on before, but it's a new year, a new season. Y'all remember the song? It's a new season. It's a new day. That's a gospel song. It's a new season. It's a new day, and it's the era of disclosure. Family, without any further ado, I'm going to welcome a special guest who's very dear to my heart and very dear to you all. And some of you are from his Lions tribe, his Lions Pack, Lions tribe as well. Allow me, family, without any further ado, to present none other than John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Welcome. Let me get him to the stage. Welcome, John.
Well,
John, I was so tongue-tied because I'm just so excited.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking me on again, and thanks to everyone for being here. You know, we have to go old school because we're exposing the biggest story of the century, and they don't want anyone to know. Sister, you were one of the very first to try to get the story out. I know we were hindered and blocked and shadow banned, and they did a number on us, but we're still going. So if everybody can hit that share button, subscribe button, and let's all do this together. It's so appreciated to try to get justice. It's deserved justice, and they don't want it out. I was taken off again. I think Facebook takes me off just about every day. I have 94,000 followers on Facebook, but they hindered me. They started taking me down each and every day. So if everybody can follow David Quigley on Facebook, if you search in David Quigley, you'll see the one that has 94,000 and follow me. I follow everybody on Facebook that was following me, and Facebook, as of last night, took them all away. So I can't even see who I was following. But it's because organized crime runs this world, and we're exposing what goes on. And they got a good thing. Organized crime has a good thing going on right now. They really do. And we're trying to bust their bubble for what they got going on. They run everything, the mainstream media, even the small stream media. They have taken it all over. So when a story is as big as mine, that, hey, my father was a president, he was assassinated for his beliefs, and trying to expose this organized crime.
1 minute, John. John, they're saying they can't hear you. They're saying the sound is bad. Someone says it sounds like a lot of wind. They can't hear you. And audio issues. So what I think is happening, family, is the air is on. It could be the air conditioning because he's in a very hot climate. But they can't hear.
I can turn that air off. Let's see about my microphone.
There's feedback. Too much wind is in the mic, they're saying. We don't even know if it's the air conditioner. It could just be them playing with the mics.
Let's see.
Sister Cleo can hear you. Other people are saying there's a lot of feedback. Okay. Family, if he turns the air off, we won't be able to stay on too long because we don't want him to be suffering in that heat. Thank you all so much for letting us know.
Can you hear me on your end?
Wow.
It's okay on your end?
Yeah. But I'm right here. It's
How
off.
is that, Kia?
That's
Yeah, I
better. Can
turned the
y'all
air
hear?
off.
He turned the air off. How does that, family? That's better. I don't hear it now. Okay.
Cool.
Perfect. They're saying perfect. Better. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I was talking
Yeah.
about organized crime and how they run
Yeah.
every single thing.
Hmm.
Being the son of a president, my mother wanted me to be a Hollywood actor. So I was in many, many pictures. They stole that name too, which was Richard Steele. I got to hang out with so many cool people when I was young, Doris Day, and but with being placed by the CIA, they did a heck of a mind trip on me and trying to hide the fact that I was the real John Kennedy. But it's an awful long story. The best thing to do is read this book, Stolen Identity,
Okay.
and that'll fill you in on all the stuff. And if anybody has any questions, I would love to try to answer them. It gets really complicated. My story does, but in short, the government controls everything. They like to say it's run by the people, but it's not. No, it's run by them, and they control it all. And what they did to me and my family and my loved ones, my father, the quietjourney.tv is a documentary. And if you go to that documentary and you click on the top, my father's saying, hey, secret societies, they run the show. And then he was assassinated after exposing that. So, but I've learned they run the show, the whole show. So that's what we're up against. We're up against a bunch of criminals that have all the money in the world. They want the one world order. They want the government to be all theirs. They want us to be the slaves. And that's in short. I was kidnapped. I was replaced. Maybe it was by good guys at the first, because in organized crime, there's more than one side. There's more than two sides. There's many sides. And they did a lot of unaliving of my family, my loved ones, my sister, my mother, my aunts, my uncles. They took them all away from me. Somehow I survived. I had many, many attempts on my life. But in short, people, I was kidnapped. I was replaced. I was hidden out. As I was growing up, there was many, many people that wanted to unalive me so I would never be on your show to share what I'm sharing now. They didn't want this day to ever happen, and it's happening little by little. We're getting it out, and I appreciate everybody that hits the share button. I appreciate Dr. Kia for having me on her show,
Yes,
and everybody that has helped me write a book. I couldn't do it without anybody's help, and they all helped. Jackie Goldman helped me write this right here so I could get the truth out. Big, huge achievement. And Mary Maxwell helped me write this one. And you can go to Mary Maxwell's website and read it for free. She's given this book away.
Wow. Let me find her website.
Let's see here. I can't remember.
Looking for her website.
Let's see. Anyway,
yes.
instead of you're trying to find it, constitutionandtruth.com.
Okay,
so if you
I'll
go
go
to Mary Maxwell's website, constitutionandtruth.com, there's the I think they call it the PDF where you can download it and read the whole book for nothing. And if you go to the website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com, Sue's book's on there. She helped me write this one as well and put all our interviews into a book. And Lanny, I had tears in my eyes. I was reading all the comments earlier. But
here it is. Oh, she got a link. She's got a link for you. Constitutionandtruth.com. She has a link. JFK. Is that where we would go?
Yeah, and I believe you can
Wow.
read that book for free.
Okay.
She's
Wow.
been such a that's a picture of me and Mary when she flew in from Boston to Laughlin, Nevada here. And she interviewed me and she said, you know, I flew in here to prove you wrong, that you aren't who you say you are. And by the time she left, she said, I know you're the real John Kennedy now.
Mm.
She's very intelligent. She has wrote many, many, many books on
Okay.
how messed up our government is, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a truther. You know, the government's so powerful. They say they're putting the truth out, and the truthers are putting all this out, but it's the ones like us that they hinder from getting the real truth out. I believe my story is one of the biggest stories of the century. It's tied into the Epstein files. I have been a victim of, you know, like I said, in short, I was kidnapped, I was replaced, I was put with handlers, I was a CIA experiment. You know, all the way from wires in my head to being chipped, to being used, to being taught many, many things that people don't really get to be taught. But me being the son of a president, I mean, you know, that they had me in Vietnam, which is in the first book, and they were teaching me how to do warfare, and it's crazy what they had me do. And we're trying to share all that to the world of what really goes on. And, you know, to make it really short, it's organized crime that run this country. When they unalived my father and my uncle and my family members, they were taking over. That was 60 years ago. Okay. 60 years they've had time for their secret societies to take over towards their main goal of a one world order for the rich, to enslave us. And they work really hard. People that have stories like mine, people that have been kidnapped, people in the Epstein files. And it's a good example, the Epstein files right now, because they don't like the victims to be heard, because the victims expose this criminal crime ring that's at the top. They really, really don't. So in short, we got organized crime, and they can send your children off to war, and there's not much you can do about it. But
John, let me ask you a question. Thank you for sharing that. My question is, what is the motivation of the crime family, the crime people that run everything, for taking people like a son of a president? What's behind that? Why would they do that?
It's all pre-planned. My brother George Onassis was the man that they replaced. I just saw a commercial, and you're a little fuzzy there, kid. If you can clear your
okay, let me see. I'll clear it. So I'm clearing it. It's clean on my end. Say it again.
I said you're too beautiful to be fuzzy.
Oh, thank you. I can see clearly. I don't know.
That is a little better.
So I tried to clean the screen. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's good. That's good there. Much better now.
Wow, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they was playing a little something there, but you was really blurry on my end. But you're good now.
Okay, good. So you were talking about your brother, Mr. Onassis, with whom they replaced you. They replaced you with another guy who was your step brother, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Now, can you explain who he is and how he was your step brother? And I yield to you.
So the whole world knew this guy named John Kennedy Jr. The only problem was he wasn't. He had no Kennedy blood. Our Secret Service that run things, that really run the show, tell the president what clothes to wear, what colors to put on. They tell the president of the United States everything. When you become president of the United States, you say you want Secret Service protection. They're the bad guys.
Right.
They're actually the one telling the president of the United States what to do. That's a criminal entity. And
Oh,
they actually,
okay.
you know, my grandmothers, I remember them being under the control of the Secret Service, which is the mafia. My mother always took advice from the Secret Service, always what to do, how to do it. Well, these people were planning to unalive these people. My mother, they made a body double. It's called identity theft. We're exposing how they make their money, how organized crime makes their money. And identity theft is the big money maker for them. My mother, they had my mother marry a billionaire with a B. If you looked out in the ocean back in the day and you saw these big oil tankers, that was Aristotle Onassis. He was oil, and you know, all the wars were started over oil and everything. Well, this was a secret war.
An oil and shipping magnate, right?
Right. So they had my mother, my father, you know, I Googled it just to see, but my father was a billionaire. My father had all the contacts and everything, made him a billionaire. So all that money went to my mother after they executed my father. Well, then that wasn't enough. So they had my mother marry Aristotle Onassis, another billionaire. And they stole all Aristotle Onassis's money. They had the man that everybody thought was me replace me because he was mafia. He had the mafia blood. So they used him. Then my mother was unalived and replaced with identity theft because identity theft is a big money maker. My sister Caroline was unalived, and all those assets went to organized crime. The man that everybody thought was me unalived my replacement mom. Why? Because
what this guy, the so-called, he unalived your mom?
Yeah. The I don't know how to call it, the body double, the replacement, the clone. Yeah. But anyway, in 1975, I watched my real mother shot to death. They replaced, our Secret Service replaced my mother with a lookalike. So now this fake lady pretending to be my mom had millions and millions and millions of dollars to launder to organized crime, the FBI, our Secret Service, the big boys. And that's exactly what happened. I lost the real Jackie in 1975. I lost my real sister in 1975. In 1973, my stepbrother, Alexander Onassis, died in my arms. I watched my stepbrother unalive. They shot him right in the head. When I say that, I can picture the gun that the gunman had, that I was saying, it's just a rusty old gun. It'll never fire. And then all of a sudden, bang. We were in midair on a plane. We crashed that plane. They don't advertise.
Wait, can I say something right quick?
Yeah, sure.
John, I'm looking at your stepbrother, Alexander Onassis. He looks just like, I'm looking at several pictures. He looks like the guy we know as JF Kennedy Jr.
He was actually
so these are blood brothers.
They're brothers. So they were brothers.
They look like they look Greek.
Yeah, he died in my arms that day on that. It's a long story, but I wanted to fly on an airplane with my brother. He was my new brother. My mom married Aristotle. I had a new family, but he was shot in the head. He was unalived. It's all organized crime wars, but they cover up the wars. They cover them all up. It's a secret war. It goes on within our government. I'll share this story and say, yeah, he was unalived right in front of me. And then somebody will come, well, I Googled it. And he died in the hospital from a plane crash. And it's like, well, who do you want to believe? An eyewitness. I was only 13, but I was still an eyewitness of the real story. So I'm sharing a lot of the real story that people don't get. They believe Google when they shouldn't. They should really believe what I'm sharing, and the truth, because it's not good. People really need to know who the rulers are, these billionaires, and what they can do and what they can cover up and who they can hinder. They're hindering my story. I just want to go to Congress and say, hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. All this has been bullshit. All this has been bullshit by our government to steal billions and billions of dollars and what they do. But they don't want me in Congress to point my finger at the same people that are ruling us, that are running this country. It's just crazy.
Can I just go over just what I think I hear you say is, okay, you're the son of JFK Sr. The people who are in power took you from your parents. Is that true? They unalived your dad first.
Right.
They took you from your parents and they put you, did they put you in protective custody, or what happened after your parents?
It could have been that way, or they could have been just using me and who I was. Because I went with some handlers called the Quigley family. And they were part of the organized crime families that I'm speaking about. I watched people kidnapped. I watched people being unalived. I had people coming to me for help. And then they look at me and why am I asking you for help? You're just a kid. And then I'd never see these people again. It was so hardcore organized crime that I grew up in. And I was placed with them, but I don't know the real reasons why. Basically I was hit out by the enemy. I mean, I was handed over to the enemy when they were trying to, it's so complicated. I wish I had the answers why they had handlers, but the handlers would come get me from the Quigleys and they would use me. Our CIA took me to Vietnam when I was with the Quigleys. The CIA would come get me with the Quigleys and take me to Hollywood, where I would do a movie, where I would be on a show, Mayberry RFD. I was on 1 Adam 12. A couple of times I was on 1 Adam 12. I was on the show Emergency. I was on the show Green Acres. There were so many shows I was on. I was in a big movie with Doris Day and Brian Keith.
And what was your name at the time? Go ahead.
They used the name Richard Steele as my name from a Hollywood name.
Okay.
But MK Ultra is so hardcore, and the mind control of children. They put me on a set with Doris Day and Brian Keith. Doris Day and Brian Keith, it was like a house, but they practiced their lines with me. They said, call me mother, call me father. So it came natural for when the cameras showed up where I say, hey, mom, and I was talking about Doris Day. Those pictures right there are actually of 1 Adam 12. They actually made me wear a mouthpiece where I would slur. That was 1 Adam 12. There was also another episode on 1 Adam 12 where I crashed in a plane. They love putting me in plane crashes. But you can obviously see I was under MK Ultra while I was being filmed. I was out of it. They had my lifeless body in their arms, and they were giving me CPR and all that. But that's what they do in Hollywood. They wanted me to be a Hollywood star and have credits for all this, but they didn't want the world to know who I was, so they were hiding me with different names and other things. But that was me as a childhood actor. I got older, and I don't know what happened, but there was so many attempts on my life. I was in fear for my life. I became a truck driver. I drove truck for years and years. I had to have many jobs because my life was in danger. It even came to the point where I thought the Quigleys were trying to kill me. The same people that were that I was placed with. It just got really, really crazy. And I just thank God that I'm here and I'm lucky to be alive to share this. And actually, I probably wouldn't have shared my story to the world but I thought I was going to die a few years back.
Mm.
I had
Mm-hmm.
extreme heart failure. I had extreme diabetes. Right now, I am on disability, but I didn't think I was going to live. The doctor said, you might not live off, you have 10% heart, you know, 90% heart failure. So I had 10% left in my heart. And I was like, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. I just want to let the world know I'm not afraid to die anymore. The story needs to go out. So that's where it all came from, of me wanting to share my story, because I was in fear for my life. A lot of people are in fear from their life because it's the biggest crime ring in the world. And I've seen so many people unalived by this crime ring. My family members, for one. But I felt the world really needed to know the truth. And
I'm grateful.
I sure
I'm
appreciate
so
everybody
grateful.
that tries to help me share it. It's that big. But in trying to share it, I've learned that organized crime within our government, the media, is so big. They don't want the people to know. They don't want us to know. The real people, they don't want us to know. Look at those big Dumbo ears.
Look at that, baby.
That's how I always describe myself as a child. You know, I got Dumbo ears, I got a pug nose, and big lips. And I still do today. But.
You know, John, someone in a comment is saying this, Carmen. Carmen says George Onassis, your stepbrother, was called John John because he was the double. He was the body double. His mother was Maria Callis. So Aristotle Onassis, your mom's second husband, had a love child with his mistress, Maria Callis, who was an opera singer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they look alike. They so look alike. And even when I went to school with him, George, my stepbrother, the one that became me, we sat in, you know, they have so much power. They sat us next to each other in school. A lot of these schools are run by organized crime. They really are. But they messed up his head too. I never had problems with what was going on with him replacing me until I started to grow up and realize he's stealing everything that should have been mine. And he wants me dead, so I never share the story to anyone. So I went on a lot of my life knowing that my own stepbrother wanted me dead to cover up his tracks of millions. That's right. And also,
here we go. Can't hear you, John. We often have issues when we do our interviews together, family. This is Maria Callis, the opera singer, with her lover, Aristotle Onassis. Aristotle was married to Jackie Kennedy, but he had a mistress here, Maria Callis. You can look her up. Look her up. Many people say that the JFK John looks like her. Oops. So this is a documentary.
Yeah.
Let me see what you.
There
you are.
They also say he looked like my mother because my mother had dark hair, but that's the only similarities. If you put Jackie Kennedy and Maria Callis and then John John up, it's more that she looks like, you know. But yeah, I do believe that she was his real mother, and Aristotle was the father. In my book, there's actually a picture of me and him and Aristotle on the island. And I think Aristotle was actually pulling on his ear. But there was a lot of crazy times. But a lot of cover-ups, a lot of lies, a lot of deceit. And that's what I've been trying to do is share.
I did what you said. Here's Mrs. Kennedy, your mom, Jackie Kennedy, Aristotle, and Maria. Say it again.
Yeah, I was just saying my mom had my pug nose.
She does have a pug nose. She does. Yes. So now they put her with Aristotle, or she married him on her own. What do you think?
Oh no, no, no! Nothing was ever done on the own.
Okay.
At the top, everyone's controlled by the secret societies. Um,
Mhm.
she went with the program. She went with what she was told. I remember that even with my grandmother being told what to do, I did what I was told what to do. They had me so
Everybody.
brainwashed. It's organized crime at the highest level. You do what you're told. You're afraid if you don't, you will be killed because they have that much power. Um, it's the biggest organized crime ring in the world. People should be
Mhm.
scared of them, afraid of them, but we're not, and we get hindered a lot for what we do. And but the world needs to know. The world really, really needs to know
Mhm.
that
And
organized crime.
I often ask this question, John. If you were not telling the truth, why doesn't someone sue you? Because the truth, I mean, when they in discovery, that's when they do deep dive investigations. It would come out that you were either telling
They,
the truth or not.
and I'm exposing murder.
Mm,
I'm exposing people being unalived, identity theft. These people have millions and millions and millions of dollars to sue me, but they won't because my story will then come out. And my
mm,
story is the truth. So help me God, my story is the truth, but they don't want it out. And
mm,
that's the big picture of it all. They won't sue
mm,
me. They won't put my results out there. They won't let me get the true DNA with my father or my mother. We spent thousands of dollars doing DNA, but they don't want the truth out because if they expose the truth, then they're exposing themselves to
mm,
all the criminal activity that they've done. So they won't sue me because if they sue me, then they'll have to prove that I am who I am because I'm not lying, and then they will be exposing themselves again. So they play these little games of let's just hinder it and not let the story out to the world. Um, let's take him off of TikTok with all those thousands of followers. Let's hinder him on Facebook. When he gets thousands of followers, we'll just shut him down. We'll just keep him in the dark. They want me in the dark. They don't want to sue me. They don't want to prove I am who I am. So we're in the dark except for the people that can hit that share button, that can do so much to help get this story out to the world. Like you, I thank you so much
it's my
um,
pleasure.
for helping.
Yes,
There's
sir.
so many people that have helped and to get the story out, and we need more. We need an army of truthers, real truthers, to say, hey, John Kennedy is John Kennedy, and he's got a story to tell, and he wants to help all the children of what they do. And in short, the Epstein files, they shouldn't even be called the Epstein files
Mm,
because it's just one big organized crime ring
mm,
and it exposes what they do to children. I'm a victim of all this. I was kidnapped, I was replaced, I was put in CIA, I was tortured over and over again. I was drugged, I was beat, and that was so I wouldn't ever, so I'd be fearful and never share my story. I'm really lucky to be alive, but there's so many children that are going through that belong in this little club they have called the Epstein Files.
mm,
They torture these children. They get them like they did my stepbrother George that was pretending to be me.
mm,
All of it is deception, what they're doing with these children that they do all this evil to. And it's so they have ball people. It's so they can have people out in the front and control them, control their minds. It's all where they were building up an army of children to do
mm.
evil deeds and not even realize they're doing evil deeds. It's really big, but that's the big picture of the files. And we need to let the world know that's the big picture of the files.
Yeah,
And
because
all
when
these
you're a
big,
child, go ahead. When you're a child and you grow up in this type of environment, you don't even know that you don't really understand what's going on. You might not even know that you're participating in crime or doing wrong, it's your reality. And I know that because I'm a psychologist and a counselor, and I've actually, helped or talked to and counseled victims of abuse. And I have friends like Whitney Houston's eldest daughter, Rena Houston, and one of Nancy Pelosi's extended family members. And God just put me in places with people that have been through this, and they share the exact same stories, John, of being abused. First of all, taken from their families, sold off to another family, given a whole nother identity, being abused, mistreated, marrying people that they think they fall in love with, but find out later that those are handlers.
Yeah.
Being kept from jobs.
It's so easy for them to get two crime members to fall in love. And I mean, they did it to me with my wife. That was purposely arranged. These were descendants of John Gotti's crew back in the day. My wife that I married, I've only been married one time, but her grandfather worked under John Gotti, and they knew who I was, so they were putting all this behind the scenes. So when I would marry, she would get pregnant. They gave me a vasectomy so the child wouldn't be mine. So all these billions of dollars, so they would have an out. Where that's when they really tried to take my life, was in 1988. After they had me marry my wife, they wanted me dead. So I had a child. So all that money would go to him. I do believe they ended up taking his life a couple of years ago. His anniversary's coming here any day. But
you said you had a vasectomy. So how'd you have a child, John? Can you explain that to us?
It was an involuntary one. The Quigleys, the handlers, had a church meeting, and during that church meeting, the pastor said, "Bow your head and pray with me." I bowed my head. They chloroformed me. They threw me on the kitchen table, and they administered drugs, and they cut me down here. They put me on an IV. I believe I was under that IV for over a week. And when I woke up, I had a big incision on down there, and I had an infection going on. But, when you put all the puzzles together, that was done just to take my bloodline away from me. So I could never have children ever again, because back then I was worth billions of dollars, and they knew it. So they were doing what they could to steal it, because that's what they do, identity theft and theft of billions. And it's crazy what these people do. It really is. They pre-plan.
And so you were married, but you got married and your wife became pregnant.
Well, they did that to me. They gave me a vasectomy before I got married. They made sure I couldn't have children before I got married. So then when I got married, my wife got pregnant, but it wasn't my child because I had a vasectomy. So they put the family members together to keep the bloodlines together. So
when she got pregnant, didn't they send her away when she got pregnant? Or she went away to visit somebody or something?
No, it is really complicated, Kia, but she had the baby. When the baby was just a couple weeks old, she flew to Vermont from California to the East Coast. When she returned a week later, she had a different baby. Wow. She took a baby back east, and she came home with a different baby. And I was told back then that the crime families switched the children around to keep the peace within the crime families. But it's just to confuse the fuck out of people. It really is. So she was having a mental breakdown. I was having a mental breakdown. I was like, how come you're bringing back the wrong kid? And, it got really confusing. The Quigleys were in on it. Dorothy Quigley told my older brother, I'm going, why did you bring this child back? It's not the same child. And Dorothy Quigley was telling my older brother, Max Quigley, just take him off and get him high. He needs to get high right now. Go smoke a really good joint with him. And that's the way they do things. I ended up going to the FBI and everything else. And look, what they do, the child trafficking, child kidnapping, but that's the Epstein files. All what I had to go through is all part of what they do. And it's common practice with these people at the top. I was just sitting here. I don't know if I still have it or not.
And by the
I think I
way,
might have.
family, he ended up raising that young man that was not his biological child, but he raised him as his child. And not long ago, the day before he and I were going to do a show, his child, his who was now was an adult child, was deceased, and it was very suspicious how that happened. But John did raise him as his own son, and while he and I were preparing for this particular show, something interesting happened. The death
Oh, the
certificate.
birth
It,
certificate.
was that the death
Yeah.
certificate? The death certificate of his son just started flying around while we were about to do this show, and I was like, maybe that's a sign that he's here, and it's really
Yeah, I
sad that.
actually found it. I found it on the floor and I picked it up. I thought it was a blank piece of paper, and it was actually a copy of my son's death certificate. And I was like, I did an interview with Kia the day after he passed, and I was all emotionally upset. This is so weird.
You were.
And I had to do it that day. I didn't want to put my head in the sand. I had to do the interview because I want the world to know my pain, what I have to go through, what I've been going through. And I also found this on the desk. It's all
What's
tattered.
that?
And this is actually somebody wearing my hat, my shirt, holding
Wow.
my son. And you can't see it now, but he actually had a buck knife up to my son's throat.
Oh
And
my
I carried
God.
this in my wallet while I was driving truck for, I don't know, 25, 30 years. I carried this. That's why it's so torn up. It was in my wallet for that long. And I said, I'm going to get even some freaking day. When this wasn't so tattered and worn, I took this picture to the FBI. I said, look, this guy wearing my clothes, I told him who he was. I said, he's got a buck knife up to my son's neck. It's an extortion photo for money. What are you going to do about it? They said, go away. We don't do pictures. That was the FBI. They said, go away. They're telling the son of an assassinated president, go the fuck away. We don't do pictures. And you're supposed to go to the FBI when you have problems with child trafficking. And this was definitely a threat. And I ran. I vowed I would kill and take that guy's life someday for that. I saw him probably 14 years ago. I ran across that guy that was dressed up. He had a clown nose on in this picture and wearing my clothes. But I ran across him. And he was a friend of mine when we went to school, grammar school together. And I confronted him in front of a laundromat after, I rode around with this picture for 25 years saying someday I'm going to take his freaking life for what he did. I confronted him and he said, I didn't even know you had a son. And I just went, okay, well, maybe they had you under MK Ultra too, because that's what our government can do. They can put you under MK Ultra. They can have you do things like put a knife up to a child's neck. And then when you wake up the next day, you never know you ever did it. But yeah, I have a lot of stories to tell. And most of them are how I did not get any help from our government. A matter of fact, how there was many life attempts on myself by these people, so I would not share what I'm sharing. But
I'm so glad.
I got a lot of stories.
John, somebody said, hey, King Smarty. King Smarty might be in the chat. King Smarty is an ally, yes?
Yes, King Smarty has helped me so much. He really has. He gave me all these pendants with the stolen identity book on them and his logo on the back. And if you go
JFK to me, what? Go ahead.
Actually, King Smarty's got a couple. Greenwald wrote this book, Quest for Justice, but they just actually sent me these the other day. They're two books that King Smarty put out.
Oh, wow.
The Mission from Earth for Earth. That's by Sue Greenwald and King Smarty. And then this one, Sonata Galactica, by King Smarty again. And if you go to Sue Greenwald Awaken Stories, I'm sure there's a link where you can hook up and see all of King Smarty's good stuff. But he's got a heart of gold. He really, really does.
Thank you for being
And
here.
I don't know what
King
happened,
Smarty.
sister, but you got blurry on me again.
I got what?
Focus. Blurry again, out of focus.
I'm out of focus. Okay. Family, I apologize for letting me clean this camera. I tell you that we always have some type of issue. Yes, government means to control the mind. Govern is to control or manage. Ment is mind or mentality. I'm cleaning it off, but on my end it's very clear. But wait a minute, now you can't see me at all. Hold on. This is pretty common. They said they love you, John, JFK Jr., and they love your saucy attitude. It's blurry, y'all. It doesn't look blurry on my end. I don't know what's going on. I'll try it again. Let me try to clean it up.
I got to take a potty break, so maybe you can take me off the screen for a minute and figure it out.
Of course. Okay.
I just need a minute my medicine's kicking on me.
Okay. So family, he had to, go take a break. It's just a little blurry. Thank you, Sister Janine. Hit the like button, family. If you desire to support J.F. Kennedy Jr., also known as David Keith Quigley, then you can. Please feel free to do so. His Cash App is $1 Quiet Journey. $QIET. No, $1, the number one, $1 QIET JOURNEY. And I have it going at the bottom of the ticker here via Cash App, where you can send him a monetary gift, donation, something just to help him. He's also on a lot of medications. He's not feeling well, but we thank God for, the help that he is receiving, thanks to you all supporting him, and thanks to his lovely companion, Rockin' Robin. I saw her this morning. She came on the screen to say hello to the family before we started the show. So shout out to Rockin' Robin family. Put some fire emojis for his lovely companion supporting him and being his strength and his love through this hard time transition of coming out from hiding to telling the truth. Fire emojis, please, for Rockin' Robin, his woman. Yes, thank you, family. Is it still blurry? They want to know if JFK Jr. has any involvement with the Q movement. You can hear me though? Well, we'll ask him. I see he's back. King Smarty, if you're in here, can you put something in the chat? Because I don't see you. It's still blurry? You're enjoying the show. Oh my God. It's not blurry, but it's pixelated. Okay, he's back. Yes, fire emojis for Rockin' Rob. Hey, listen, ain't nothing like having a woman beside you when you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we just love the divine feminine, loving her man through all of this and being his companion. The scripture says 2 are better than 1, so we are so grateful. And he's back. Hey, John. You got the air conditioner back on. It must be hot.
Yeah, I started sweating, so I turned it. So maybe we can chill it out in here, and I'll turn it off again.
Oh no, we gonna make it. We gonna make it through. We gonna bear through. So if you want to support John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., David Keith Quigley, again, you can send him a $sign to a Cash App to $1 Quiet Journey. And somebody in the comment section had put his post office box as well. I'll see if I can find that. We're going to let him continue to tell his story, and then we'll ask him some questions. Oh, because they want to know, did you take a DNA test, John?
I've actually taken, I don't know how many DNA tests, probably a dozen DNA tests. The big ones that we spent thousands on, we can't get the results that, we paid them thousands of dollars. I was thinking about suing them just to try to get our money back from them, but not a common courtesy of a letter in the mail. Here you pay somebody a few $1,000s, you think you'd get a call or an email or a letter in the mail or something. But I've taken a lot of fly-by-night, DNA tests. They say I'm 100% European and this and that, but no direct. I mean, I'm directly tied to a lot of famous people, but them saying, "Am I tied to my mother and father?" No,
They won't.
They said that.
Well, because we have to consider who owns those DNA tests.
Right, exactly. And they organized crime runs everything, and
They
if they
run
don't want the
everything.
story out, it's going to be real difficult to get it out. But yeah, I've taken plenty of DNA tests. People said, "Send me your DNA." I've had no problem with that. I'm not trying to hide who I am, but they can do a lot of destructive things with my DNA too. They
Right.
can set me up for murder and every other thing with my DNA.
That's true.
So I do have to be careful, but I've taken plenty. But I'm not really worried about it. I just want the truth out to the world
Yes.
of who I am.
John, I just want to quickly say that Sister Brenda Scott Price is in the chat. And hi, Sister Brenda Scott Price. I believe you're a lion, one of the lions of JFK Jr.
She has been on TikTok and Facebook, and I don't remember how many times they have removed her for holding up.
They banned her.
Yeah, dozens of times. She has made dozens of accounts just so she can hold up a book and say John Kennedy Jr. is alive, and then they do misinformation. No, they're hiding the information. It's not misinformation, but they don't give up. Brenda hasn't gave up, and I respect that. But it's so important that the story gets out, that we get it out.
We're getting it out today. And if you all want to help him continue on his story and his work, you can send a gift to him by sending Cash App $1 Quiet Journey, $1 QUIET JOURNEY, or you can send a check or a money order. And this is where you need to send it to David Quigley.
Yeah.
David
so
Quigley.
Trying to get my identity.
Post Office P.O. Box 21552, Bullhead City, Arizona 86439. That's, you can send a check or a money order to David Quigley. DAVID is his first name. That's what the name they gave him, Quigley, QUIGLEY. And then the address is P.O. Box 21552, Bullhead City. Bullhead is BULLHEAD, City, the word city, comma, Arizona, and the zip code is 86439. And of course, that's here in the United States. Or just simply send them a Cash App to $1 Quiet Journey. So,
thank you so. Thank you.
You're welcome. They're expressing their condolences with you, your son being taken. I believe that story sounded like it wasn't a natural passing. I don't know. It could have been, but it was just.
Oh, I think MK Ultra had a lot to do with it. I even talked to somebody that has access to some of the classified files. This was about 2 months ago, and they said that he was definitely poisoned.
He was poisoned. And you still kept on with the work, and it was very hard. I remember that day. I remember.
I have big plans. I really do. So I appreciate you putting the cash out up there. And there's many things I would like to do. I would like to have an office where we can get the truth out about exposing this organized crime ring. I really wanted a church or a healing center where these people are the victims of our government and like the Epstein files, the victims could come and talk with each other and get closure on why it happened and how it happened and how it happened to me and many of these other people, the Hollywood kids. There's so many stories. I've had people after people come to me and say, they killed my children, they killed my husband, they killed that, and they come and it's like, I'm sorry, I get disability, and my bills are more than my disability check. I really can't help much at all. But I got big dreams. I see a church in the future, a healing center in the future. It doesn't take much, and I'm not hiding. I'm here in Bullhead City, Arizona. If you want to get a hold of me, it's not hard. You can come and get a hold of me. We could sit down and we could say, hey, let's do this. I got a group of people that do the same thing you're trying to do. Let's get together and do it. But I would really like to see the dreams not be squashed like they're trying to do. I'd like to get a victory on this, that, hey, I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and I'm happy to share what I've learned being the son of a president, how organized crime works in our government and our CIA. The CIA, they had me in Vietnam killing people, for Christ's sakes. As a child. This is me as a child. This is somebody sent me this little doll right here.
Oh,
does
wow.
Does that look like George Onassis? Look at the hair color.
Not at all.
The man stole my identity. It's not black curly hair, people. This is an original doll from 1963. This was a photo op. The whole salute.
Wait. 1963, that was a doll of you with the photo op saluting. And how did we saw you? What my parents did, they saw pictures of you, they saw dolls.
A lot of people
how did we get tricked?
They did it at the age of 12 years old, right in front of the whole, because people don't pay attention, Kia. They really, really don't. They see a story, they just gets blurred right by them, like, okay, that's the new John Kennedy. Some people that were really deeply involved in it said, yeah, that's not the real. My mother had a best friend that recently passed, and my mother was killed in 1975. Well, in 1975, that friend of hers never heard from my mother again. And when she would see Jackie on TV, she would say, that's not Jackie Kennedy. That's not her. That's not my friend. But people are afraid. She ended up, we were supposed to go back east and talk to her. And she just recently passed away. But there's so many stories like that. Why we need an office to document this. A lot of people sent me wonderful things like that doll. Wonderful things like this bank here, just all kinds of Kennedy memorabilia of my father. They're still making money to this day. I see a commercial just about every day, somebody trying to sell a 50-cent piece of my father, or whatever, but they're still making money on his death to this very day. And
meanwhile, you don't have money. Meanwhile, they're making money on your dad's name and your bloodline, but you don't have access to your trust. You don't have access to the wealth, to your estate, nothing. You are living literally, on disability?
Yeah. I do get a little money from my books, and then I turn around and buy more books and give it away. There was a gal that just went to a convention. I think I gave her like 20 books to give away while she was at that convention. And she gave them away to some pretty big people. So we're still moving forward off the internet. But we're getting it done. But I would love to have a little center, a little office, a little church, or that's just a dream. And somebody said, well, it's up to God, it's up to Daddy, it's in Daddy's hands, and I'm going with it. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but I'm not going to give up on it. It would be a wonderful thing to help people and get the story out of what's really going on, what people don't.
John, a couple people want to hear you talk about the Hell's Angel, because in your book, in your first book, family, please get this book, and we're going to pull up the link, called Stolen identity. You mentioned the Hell's Angel. Who were they to you? What did they do?
Well, at first I was put there for protection. They kept me quiet. I hung out with them. They taught me things. It was more for protection, but the Hells Angels don't like to be talked about. So
Okay.
I can just say they're a bunch of good people that helped me when I was young. Some of them
Okay.
lost their lives protecting me when I was young, actually died to protect me. And that's kind of when we separated. I was being controlled by the CIA and people, and they were infiltrated in the Hells Angels, and it got real confusing. But our government was trying to kill me. I was in a clubhouse in a garage of the Hells Angels, and a federal agent threw a hand grenade in to try to take my life. It
God, have
basically
mercy.
the hand grenade rolled under a chair where a guy named David was sitting, and it blew up, and they literally had to pick shrapnel out of his butt. But they were trying to kill me. They wanted me dead back then, and these people were protecting me to try to keep me alive. So with all my heart and respect to the Hells Angels for keeping me alive, because so many people didn't do it, and they did it. And, anyway, big thanks to the Hells Angels.
Big thanks to the Hell's Angel. They're called outlaws for a reason because there are a lot of bikers, a lot of people that are some called outlaws, rednecks, or whatever. They love the country and they will protect the country by any means necessary. And they're considered outlaws because they won't live within the realm of the crime family. They won't abide by the rules. They won't play the game. You really have to be a contrarian in order to survive. And I learned that from Andy Scheckman, who is he is the owner and CEO of a precious metals company. He said you have to be, you can't go along with this. You have to be a contrarian. You have to go contrary or be against whatever the government is doing. Having said that, I want to say something about your father, and this is a quote in the book. I won't keep you too long. I know you need to go. I know you take medicine and all, and I don't want to keep you, John. But your father
That's
in the
all.
book, there's something that he said that really resonates with me. This is from John F. Kennedy Sr. There's a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot. Is that why they took your father's life? He
Yeah,
wanted to expose the government?
the government was a crime ring, and the crime ring probably put him in power. There was a lot of photo ops of me with a child, but like I said, organized crime, our secret service, they controlled my mother, the family, they controlled everything. They made the plans to take his life and take his money, take my stepfather's money and his life and his family's lives. It was a total takeover, and it was all pre-planned to do that. But he was exposing them for this secret society that they were, the secret society, organized crime that they were. And at the quiet journey, at the very top, my father's at the podium, and he's doing it again. He's saying the secret societies, the people that we don't need these secrets. We are America, and it had a lot to do with them taking his life, because he wanted this country for the people and not for the rulers and government. But it's all about the rulers and government now, and not about us. And we're paying for it. And people need to wake up and see how bad we are really paying for it. But we, the people, are paying for what they are doing. They're getting rich. They are doing deception. They are making so much money off of oil. They've been doing it my whole life, all the way to taking my stepfather's life. Yeah, but the world needs to we need to stand up, to be aware that it's us and them. It's us or them. We need to
us or them. John, your
And
story is getting out. Of course, now you have 90 something, 94,000 followers, even after they continue to try to scrub you from the internet. But I'm reading chapter 11 in your second book, which you just told me today you have two more out that I need to get. And family, I'm going to come back and show you a penchant that John gifted me with, pure gold, beautiful. No, silver, because they knew I like silver, and it's packed because I'm moving. I told you I'm in the middle of a move, so I have to bring it out. He did gift me two pensions, and I'll show you where you can get those, and gifted me with two books, but there are two more out. So bear with me.
we'll get you the other two. I'll have Robin get you the other two.
Thank you, John. So chapter 11, page 45, you said, at least I made Time's upper right corner. You were in Time magazine. Presumably, Time and all the other mainstream news outlets are aware of me, but they ain't telling. Yet nowadays, we have an alternative press, and let's see how long it takes until the straight press comes around. My co author, Mary Maxwell, annoyed by her inability to get straight blurbs for the back cover of this book, has provided a few suggestions of how people are mentioning him. Here's something from the Washington Post. What a book this is. Who would have dreamed that a man living almost as a tramp is the son of a beloved president? Time magazine. Second one. This must be the book of the decade, if not the century. Congratulations to the child who lived through torture and grew up to be an exceptionally responsible and caring citizen. The New York Times. Okay, for those people who are not sure, if he's lying, why are they? They tell you in plain sight, right? They tell you the truth. Here's another one. Mary Maxwell, an old Boston Irish Catholic, has done us proud. After revealing the truth about the Marathon bombing, she has now got the backstory of the life of JFK Jr. This is by the Bison Globe. And then finally, John says, and I'm proud of this, y'all, of course, page 45, chapter 11 of his book, The Historian's Tale, he says, mainly, I've been recognized by podcasters. The first big break came from Dr. Kia Pruitt. And by today, January 15, 2025, Sue Greenwald. Like and subscribe to her channel, family. Sue Greenwald. We'll bring her up. I'll see if I can. We should interview her. John and I should do it together. I'm going to bring her up. Okay. Sue Greenwald has interviewed me numerous times. These friendly shows give me a platform from which to ask my lions to help spread the word even further. Thank you, precious lions. That's what John wrote about us, those of us who support John F. Kennedy Jr. And I yield to you. Thank you, John. Thank you so much for mentioning me in the book. Oh my God. I'm so honored.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
And
so
I told Mary Maxwell I was about out of books.
Uh-huh.
And she told me on the phone yesterday, day before, she said, well, I'm going to send you 50 more copies.
Wow.
So that's awesome.
Okay. Now, are you still on? Her channel is Awaken Stories. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's her.
You were breaking up on me
up.
and I couldn't hear you, but Press
Okay.
for Justice is Sue's book.
Okay. Here she is, family. This is her YouTube channel. I hope y'all can hear me. Sue's Greenwald is at Awaken Stories. She interviews John. How often does she interview you?
Which we usually do one about once a week. Sometimes we miss a week, and then, but usually it's once a week. She hits me up and says, "Let's do a video," and I'm like, oh, "Great, let's do it." But yeah, Awaken Stories is her channel on YouTube, and she's got a lot going on. She stays very busy.
Okay. So now I'm wondering, where can they find your work, John? Your websites? What you tell me where they can find
That's
you.
the real. Sue actually helped me make the website, the real JohnFKennedyJR.com.
Okay.
It's got all kinds of stuff on there. a link to all the books, a link to the documentary, the little short movie, thequietjourney.tv. A shout out to the people that donated their time for that. Thequietjourney.tv is a little short documentary that explains my whole story in short.
Wait, you want me to quietjourney.tv? Should we play it?
Yeah. That's a little short documentary of the story to get it out to the people. That was donated by some wonderful people.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. The Quiet Journey. I'm trying to see if I can find it. The Quiet Journey. Oh, ooh. Can I show it? Should we show it?
Sure. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Let me pull it up. Okay,
That's
come on
now. Quietjourney.tv, people.
I'm trying to get to there for some reason. Okay, well, I'll pull it up on YouTube. It's not coming up for me. Okay, let me do it again. The Quiet Journey.tv. See if I can find that link. Ooh, yes. I'm thrilled. Okay, here we go. The Quiet Journey.
At the top on that page.
Here, how the real JFK Jr. was erased, replaced, and forgotten until now. Okay. Shall we play? We're going to play this, family. This is the quietjourney.tv. I went to Vimeo so I can.
And this is what I was saying earlier about my father's speech. At the very start, he's telling everyone, hey, we're in trouble. The secret societies are taking over our government, and we're in trouble. So,
okay, let's play it. Thank you, John.
They did a wonderful job on this. They really did.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
I would have to say memories of my father, fond memories of my father, is when he taught me how to swim, just throwing me in the pool. Or actually, I believe it was one of my uncles throwing me into the pool to my father and learning how to swim. My father taught me how to drink a Coca-Cola. I know it was a photo op for Coca-Cola, but I still remember him teaching me how to drink out of a bottle, because I put my mouth all the way around the Coke bottle like it was a nipple. And he was like, no, you put your lips on the edge of it. And he taught me how to drink a Coke. And, I was probably 2.5, maybe almost 3 at that time. But, it's him teaching me little things like that. I still remember, still have good memories about that. My name is John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. My father was the President of the United States of America. My father was assassinated for the whole world to see. My memories in the White House are pretty big. There's a couple that really, really stand out, and most of them had to do with colors. Being on a golf course with my father, the bright green grass. I remember the bright green grass. It was like the first time I ever seen grass that bright, so it stuck in my mind. Being in his red convertible, the upholstery was red. I remember, playing like I was driving. There was a few other memories, like me in a helicopter, and I remember talking with the pilot, seeing all the gauges in the helicopter, me playing cowboy and Indian. I remember there was a photo shoot of me with a helmet on and a toy rifle. There's a few memories I have. One memory that really sticks out in my mind was my father was getting ready to do a presidential speech, and I was fascinated by the lady that was there, and she had a steamer, and she was actually steaming his suit before he walked on stage. And I was sitting there, I was so fascinated with the machine, my father, and the next thing I knew, where is he? And I've seen footage of that day, because I actually ran on stage and found my father. And so a lot of memories, are by what I've seen and come back to me. Just relive the old footage, because there's actually thousands and thousands of photos and videos out there of me as a child. So it does bring back a lot of memories. Christmas and my toy soldier. Jackie had brought me a toy soldier that was probably 2.5, 3 feet tall. I didn't remember it until I saw the toy soldier, and it was like, that was my toy. And I have even told stories about my toy airplane, about how I wanted to leave a toy airplane on my father's grave. The Secret Service said, go pick out a toy. I've actually seen photos of me with that airplane that I didn't even know existed. Wow. But when I got to the grave, the Secret Service took my airplane away from me, gave me a PT-109 boat, because it's a big photo op. They like to plan things that go on. And they're like, you're not going to leave your father your plane. They threw it on the ground. I never saw my toy plane again after that. But they gave me a little toy boat to put on there for their photo op. A lot of memories like that I have.
So, John, this the movie, it looks like it's about an hour long, so I won't show it all, but I do have the link of it. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I do have the link of it, and I put it in the chat. Is there any part you want me to fast forward to? Or you want me to go a little longer?
No, that's wonderful, Kia. People know the link now, and the most important part to me of the whole thing was my father at the beginning saying, hey, these secret societies, they're real, they're there, and they're put in there to deceive the truth. He even mentioned the media. We're going through that struggle right now. The media is all put in place, like he said. What's going on? They want to deceive you from the truth. And my father was saying, we have no reason for it. We have none. We need to abolish it, basically, and start talking the truth. Start talking about how the media is controlled and our government is controlled, And we're basically the victims. We, the people, are the victims of our government and what they've been doing. And it's time we change that. No, whatever we have to do, we need to change it for us, because we're the
That's a
victims.
good
And I
point.
don't like being a victim.
John, what can we do to, I'll start with what can we do to change things? And then I'm going to ask you, what can we do to support you? But first, what can we do as we the people to change the situation? If everything's run by the crime family, what's our part? We're not talking about
The worst thing
God,
we-
good, what I'm saying? Extraterrestrials, I'll talk about all that. What can I do? What can we the people do?
The worst thing, well, the best thing I should say, we can do to hurt them is to expose them. Organized crime will take others' lives just to keep their secrets quiet. So if we're shouting from the rooftops, hey, organized crime's running things, these people are all a part of organized crime, look at what they did to John, the son of a president. We expose it and get it out there, and wake up the world on how important it is to the world that we get rid of these crime families that actually run things. Then we might be able to do something. But right now, I don't see us doing much, because they run everything, they control everything, they hinder us so bad. So to me, my mission is getting it out there, sharing it to the world, and hope that it sinks in and that this country's not so far gone.
That's right. So, because here's the thing, if we're quiet, it's like you're complicit. It's like you're agreeing with them. It's called tacit agreement. When you're quiet and you just go along, or you don't blow the whistle, you just speak, you put your head down. Tacit complicity, or what tacit agreement. And we're done with that. Those days are over where we just hold our head down and just let people run all roughshod over us, unalive children, hurt babies. And then that you grow up as an adult and you're wounded and people think you're crazy because they don't want to believe the stories. We'd rather sometimes close our ears, but we need to hear.
That's part of the program. They want us to all think that everybody's crazy. That's just part of their program. I see it all the time in the movies and on TV and everything. But I witnessed it in real life, going to the FBI and saying, hey, look, this is what, we're talking child trafficking, kidnapping. I'm John Kennedy Jr. And they're like, you need to go to the nut house, buddy. It's right down the street on the left. That's part of their programming.
I just spoke about that earlier today, how I was a foster parent. Excuse me. I'm sorry for interrupting. I was a foster parent, John, and we were taught and trained to not believe the children because they make up stories. They're so traumatized, we were told. They will make up stories to seek attention. And that's so if the people that's supposed to be taking care of you as a foster parent is taught that, what can the child do? And the children, I had children that would go to the police, I would try to take them to get help. They wouldn't listen.
Yeah,
they wouldn't listen.
Programmed not to. It's just part of the programming, part of the covering up of the truth.
How can we support you, John?
Just follow me on Facebook, share my story. Let's get it out to the masses. You can write me a letter to my post office. You can come visit me in Bullhead City here. Mary Maxwell flew here. The people that did the quietjourney.tv, they drove here with all their equipment and set it up and helped me. So I'm open to so much that can be done. I've been manifesting for a church, just an office where people will help me write letters. And, I'm an old biker and don't even know how to spell very well. So all the help in getting the story out is appreciated, is expected. I mean, not expected, but it's appreciated for the people that want to help, that have helped in helping get the story out. The other day, I was like, I want to go into a cave and just play caveman for a while and forget the world. But I need to keep going. I can't do that, even though I would like to sometimes. I would like to just crawl into a cave and say, screw it. It's all nonsense, but I can't. My story's too, I don't know what.
It's too important. It's
Yeah,
important. You're speaking for
yeah, just,
yourself as the son of a president and for all of the victims that can't speak on. So you're speaking on behalf of so many. I'm sorry, that's my daughter. You're speaking on behalf of so many people. So it's too important. It's crucial. It's timely. It's
and
it's
it
it's
affects everybody. It
imperative.
really does.
And it's dangerous to not speak out because so many people will be harmed if you didn't. So I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for your bravery, speaking through your pain because you're still not feeling well sometimes. Some days you're going through it. You're what do you call it, gang stalked, your websites are scrubbed, they did things
Oh,
to your children. It's horrible, but you keep pressing forward. So here's an example of how he's pressed forward. This is his website called the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. He has a gallery. This is his homepage. He talks about the truth being out, who he is, and who the fake one was, the guy who took his identity. You can go to gallery and you see some things under gallery. You can look at the timeline of his life and the timeline of events, the events that are upcoming, what this website is about, and how you can donate and where you can shop. So all his books and links are here. The real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. I put that in the chat for you all, and I'll put it in the description section as well. He also desires for us to follow him on Facebook. Were you going to say something, John?
I was just going to say thank you, Kia.
Oh, of course. It's my pleasure. You're welcome. Let me see if I can find so on Facebook, what's your name there?
David Quigley.
Okay, let me look. And why that name, if you don't mind telling us?
That's the name the government gave me. That's the name I have to drive a car under. If I want medication from the doctor, I got to show them the David Quigley. But it was made up. It started when I was so young that I got my driver's license under a fake birth certificate. I can't even get David Quigley's birth certificate because it was made up. But they gave me that made up birth certificate, and then I got my Social Security number. Once I had my Social Security card, I was able to get my driver's license. And from then on, I've been screwed. David Quigley's age difference when they did this was 6 years difference. I forgot how old David Quigley is, 59, 59, I think. But my real age, I am 65 years old. So that didn't help me very much on my disability or going to be on my retirement or anything. SSI, when I get old, I got to wait 6 years more than I would have if I was any other. But anyway, hopefully we can get that changed. I can get my name back, John Kennedy. Hopefully someday I'll be sitting in Congress and be able to share this story to the masses that are just fed up with our government's corruption.
Now, do you have anybody, and you might not be able to tell this though, do you have anybody at any high level government, any that say, look, we know your story, we know who you are, we're going to help you?
I think a lot of people are too scared to help me. There's a lot of people that know my story that have actually met me. There's generals that know my story, but I do believe Donald Trump knows my story. There's many people, Barack Obama, he knows my story. I killed a couple guys for Barack Obama that busted in his bedroom door one night when I was protecting him. But there's a lot of people that know me, but they're all controlled by our Secret Service, the people that actually run things. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's so true. But there's a lot. I think they're just scared. They go with the program. They don't want the truth out. Because my story then again exposes all the corruption that has been done, all the murders that have done. It exposes identity theft and how organized crime makes their billions of dollars. And it's being all covered up because they're all taking in all this money from identity theft.
Also, they take somebody's identity and then they steal from their estate. And then they unalive the children because those are the rightful heirs.
They get rid of the bloodline, and then they put their family members in place
Mhm.
to continue their bloodline. So their bloodline is the wealthy family, the one world order of the billionaires club. They're all family. They're all related in one way.
John,
And if they're not, then they're on the take. They're on the payout. They have to pay out to these people, or worry about getting out of love themselves.
family, if you want to hear some very heart-wrenching and compelling stories from a book you won't be able to put down, let me get this book. I read this in one sitting. You will not be able to put this book down. He talks about people he knows in Hollywood. Of course, he knows people like Denzel Washington, who's a very well-known actor. You won't believe some of the things he shares, and he's got pictures with him and Denzel, pictures with him and Hollywood actors. I don't know if y'all remember Jim Jones, I think it was, was it Jim Jones? He drank the juice.
Yeah, that was Reverend Jim Jones.
He tells what really happened. Go ahead.
The Quigleys took me to San Francisco. I was hanging out with the Hells Angels in San Francisco. That's where Reverend Jim Jones started. The Quigleys took me to his church, but they're all connected. Basically, Reverend Jim Jones was using mind control, cult following, MK Ultra to get his followers, and he wasn't paying up. They're all put in place to pay up. So Reverend Jim Jones, in short, did not want to pay up, so they killed him. First, Reverend Jim Jones killed a member of government from California. That started the whole thing because they're all organized crime in government. Killed one of ours. It came down. The orders came down after Reverend Jim Jones killed the I think it was a governor, senator, or something from California. And it came down from the top. Kill them all. They kill one of our family members. We kill all of theirs. So that's where the Kool-Aid came from. I was there. I know it. I was brought there. I was there as a child when he was in church. I remember the clicking noise. He had a clicker in his hand. They had loudspeakers, and that was to put everybody under mind control. But yeah, that's a whole nother big, huge story of organized crime, and that's the way they do it.
Yeah, and even there was this one girl. Was it Cagney Lace? I don't know what. I can't think. Was it Cagney Lace? It was a young lady. Looked like a random woman who was she might have been pregnant. She was unalived by her husband, and you just heard the story all across the news. And everybody was all concerned about how she went missing. You wrote about her in the book. Is this? Yeah. I was like, what? Even these random stories we hear about on the news, they're all
even
part of
the Scott Peterson case on Fox News. It was on every day for months, and I knew them. I was employed by the mistress's father in California. I met Scott Peterson because they were trying to kill me in San Diego. So, it's all so much connected. It's crazy. But they don't want to hear my story because Fox News is too busy putting it on their news. Like, look what we did. And they're the ones, organized crime's probably the ones that actually killed his wife that was pregnant. And actually the ones that put him in. It's so crazy what's done. You can't believe anything on the news. And then people won't believe my story. Well, you don't believe that I knew Scott Peterson, that he tried to take my life in San Diego. But Amber Fry, his mistress, Ron Fry I worked for him for years, laying bricks and doing hard manual labor as David Quigley. So it's crazy.
1 minute, John. Hold on, son. Give me a few more minutes, okay? Let me just read this because this story was all over the news. Scott Peterson was convicted in 2004 of the 2002 first-degree unalivement of his pregnant wife, Lacey, and the second-degree unalivement of their unborn son, Connor. Lacey went missing from their Modesto, California home on Christmas Eve. Her remains and the babies washed ashore in the San Francisco Bay, and Scott is currently serving a life sentence without parole. The case garnered national attention, and you can explore the timeline, trial, and the background via these sources. So I remember that. It was all over the news. What happened to
And
Lacey Peters? Go ahead.
that's just like organized crime right there. They gave him a Christmas present.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, once you know how they work, you can put the puzzles together pretty easy. But yeah, them doing that to him they were sending a deep, clear message. Here's your Christmas present, motherfucker.
Now, what about that little baby? Go ahead. What about that baby that I can't remember, the little girl who was a model? She went missing. Oh, I can't think of her name. Real popular.
I know who you're talking about, but yeah, most everything that's big like that they put on the news over and over and over, it's all part of their organized crime, how they're sharing what they do. You know, real stories like, hey, JFK Jr., you know, he was kidnapped. It's not on the news anywhere, but stuff like Reverend Jim Jones and Oklahoma City bombing and David Koresh and all these other stories.
John Benet Ramsey. John Benet Ramsey, that was her name. Go ahead. Thank you, family. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all part of the organized crime. It's all how they get to be, you know, Fox News, ABC, CBS. None of them are going to share my story because they're all bought out by the same people that are running the country. They work hard to run the news agencies, so they only can tell you what they want you to know. It's really big. It's huge. People don't understand how big the deception really, really, really is. And I got to take a potty break again. Sorry.
What'd you say?
I got to take a potty break real quick.
Okay. We'll wrap it up while you're gone. So, family, I just want to say I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. This is a compelling story, and for some, it's incredible. You know, we don't hear of things like this every day, but news is starting to come out with Allie Carter on Instagram telling her story. Rena Houston is a friend of mine. Whitney Houston's daughter, she has come out years ago, but they tried to silence her. Who else? Oh, David, was it Isaac? What's his name? Isaac Cappy. I was able to actually not talk to him directly, but he was an actor that came out, maybe B-list actor that came out talking about how children were kidnapped and unalived in Hollywood and how there was a lot of nefarious things going on. I don't know if you all remember Isaac Cappy talking about this, but people tried to hush him and then he went missing. But one thing I will say is he was talking online once and I said, hey, Isaac Cappy, I just want you to know I hear your story and I love you. And I put hashtag Famber Lambergasis because he used to call us Famber Lambergasis. And he said, that's right. I love you too, Dr. Kia, my Famber Lambergasis. I was ecstatic that he shouted me out. But Isaac Cappy, before he went missing, May 13, 2019, he was telling a story about children in Hollywood being programmed through UK Ultra. Go ahead.
He was exposing them, and that's what happens. They don't like to get exposed. That's why we can't give up. We got to keep exposing. And I made a post the other day. I was a Hollywood actor. I knew John Wayne. I knew Charles Bronson. The list goes on of who I knew. Mm-hmm. They all were playing cowboy. They were all playing cowboys and Indians. You know, grown men grabbing guns, killing Indians. They were all in on it. Anybody that was a star played cowboy and Indian. That's Hollywood. That was the roots of organized crime. Was all these actors, these cowboys. You know, later on in life, after they got done playing cowboy and Indian, they'd go on and play love stories and soap operas and you know, like the show Emergency. They became doctors. Even Doris Day, you know, they all played cowboy and Indian. It was the roots. Yeah.
David, I mean, not David. No, I refuse to call you that. John, John, who is Lydia Durham? Durham. They're talking about her in the chat.
It's really hard for me to remember names. It
Okay.
really is.
Okay.
So yeah, I was basically tortured not to remember names. It takes a lot for me to pull the names up and actually remember them.
They're saying she is.
People
some people think she's the daughter of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and Whitney Houston. That's what they're saying in the chat. I haven't heard about that one.
Oh, I know there's a guy that claims to be Bill Clinton's son, and he also was putting that out there. There's so much deception that they don't want, because they're all being controlled. And you know, they get blackmailed and pictures taken, and it's huge. But the government is it's a crime syndicate, and I can't stress it enough what goes on. I wouldn't want to be any part of it, with all the deception and the killing and the thieving and the stealing, and you know, it's crazy huge. It's so huge. I don't want to have anything to do with it unless I was saying, okay, let's give it all back to the people. Let's get rid of all that big crowd of people, of evildoers that do this to children and this and that to children and are part of the satanic cult, part of the 3-letter agencies. Let's get rid of them all and let's put some good people in there until it gets corrupted again. But it's crazy to talk.
And I'm going to. I just want you mentioned Bill Clinton and his son, former President Bill Clinton, and his son is black, or I guess he identifies as African American. He's brown, but look, he's telling his story. His name is Danny Williams. Look,
I believe him 100%.
He looks like him. Wow.
But they suppress his story also. It's sad the way they do what they did, but there was a day I was under MK Ultra, and I've shared this before, so it's no big deal to me. But I was actually with Bill Clinton snorting cocaine in a limousine, and his black mistress walked up, and I walked away. But Bill Clinton was being told what to do by the Secret Service, everything. Maybe he was under MK Ultra at the time. But they get these presidents like Bill Clinton, and they control them to do everything. We really don't have a president of the United States. We have an underworld, a secret society of people billionaires that want their money and control, and their control of power of the presidents.
And are you all related, John? At the top, the presidents and some of the entertainers.
I was told I was when I was young. I was told I was related to Jimmy Carter. I was told. Well, see, first of all, you got to remember, it was a war, a takeover of the bloodlines. The bloodlines stay in power. So whether I was Jimmy Carter's relative or Donald Trump's relative or any of them, one of my DNA came up that says I'm Netanyahu's relative. I think that was from my father's side. But you got to remember, even Hollywood, they were all related. They only put their bloodlines in where all the money is at so they can control the world economy. So I was told I was told John Wayne, I was told Elvis, I was told all these people were my relatives. They're all dead now, but I was told that they were all my family members.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. It's really compelling. I love you and Rockin' Robin, and I'm grateful to be part of your Alliance family tribe.
We love you too, sister.
Thank you.
It's so nice to see your beautiful smiling face on here, and we got together again. It made my whole day, my whole week, and everything.
Thank you.
Robin loves you so much.
I love her too.
So many people that keep asking me, when are you gonna get with Dr. Kia again? But yeah. The other day when you said let's do it, I was like all jazzed. That's so cool. So thank you.
You're welcome. I recommend people get your books. You have this one out. That was your first one, Stolen Identity. And then the second one, The Historian's Tale. And then you have two more. Do you have them sitting right beside you?
Yeah, this one by the beautiful Sue Greenwald.
Okay.
Quest for Justice. This is on the website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com.
Okay.
And Lanny wrote this one. This is the latest one, Legacy of Truth. She's wonderful. But this is a lot about Robin and what Robin has to do to put up with me, I guess you call it.
So, what were you gonna say? I wanted to know, what final words would you leave us with before we get off today, John?
I just want the truth out. I want to thank everybody that's been with me. I want to thank everybody for all the love that they've shared. I didn't know there was this much love in the world when I was trying to get my story out the very first time, and realized that how bad it is to try to get the truth out. So just lots of love to everybody that hits the share button, and it's all appreciated so very much.
Thank you, John. Before I leave, I want to know, you do have a YouTube channel, right?
I do. I haven't been on there in so long. I was paying them $20 a month, and they were hindering me. So I was like, I stopped paying them the $20 a month because I don't give anybody anything that hinders me. And I forgot what it was. I could look, but I do have a YouTube channel.
This might be it, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. You holding your book? Is that you?
Yeah.
7,000.
That's my YouTube channel, but I haven't been on there in actually months.
Oh, okay. Do you foresee yourself coming back? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but my subscribers weren't going up. I felt like I was wasting my time. I would make videos and post them, and I would get the same 3 people to like it. It's just like I'm just trying to move on and get the world to know my story.
Okay.
So that's why I'm always saying, please share, please share, please share.
So thank you for that. So until you post again, we should go to the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. That's where all your links are, all your work. I'm see if I can find that, family. The real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. Shout out to Rockin' Robin Stick. What's that song? Stand by your man. Yeah, shout out to her for standing by her man, family. I'm looking, I can't find the website. I had it up, but it's the real John F. Kennedy Jr. I'll put all of John's links in the
thank you.
You're welcome in the description.
The junior is just JR.
JR. Let me see if I can find it.
KennedyJR.com.
The real, I found it.
I believe there's links to all the books and the website and the pendants.
Oh yeah, we didn't show the pendant, and I'm going to come on later on sometime this week to show mine. But is it in the gallery? Where's the let me see what I can find, or is it in shop?
Probably donate, maybe. Or shop, shop. I haven't been on there in a while myself.
Look at that. Oh. Now, who made these for you?
King Smarty.
King Smarty. Wow. That was so nice.
Look. He spent a lot of money, and he said, John, I want to help out your cause. You can have these and sell them and keep the profits. So when somebody buys a pendant, it's a real blessing. You know, even though now with gas prices so high, I have to sell a couple just to fill up the truck.
And you can get different colors. He said it is so appreciated, family. They're beautiful. Mine is shiny. Mine is silver. You can get in a rainbow, black, silver, gold, rose gold. You get different sizes, large or small. And it's a token of his appreciation for all of us who follow him. And it's a way for us to support his cause. So we want to show him our gratitude and how much we care about him. It's called Unveiling the Real John Kennedy Jr. So that's it, family. I'm I'm thrilled that you all are here today. We had over 1,000 people in the chat on and off, and I know this will grow. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, get the word out, family, and donate to John. You know, sometimes people don't like to use the word victim, but if a victim is somebody who suffered at the hands of somebody who harmed them. He's a survivor, but he was a victim first, you know. So we're grateful that God allowed him to survive all of these heinous things because he's speaking out for him, his family, his bloodline, and all those who have been abused. Finally, I'll leave you with this, family. Justice for John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. is justice for all. All of us who haven't been able to speak, all of us who maybe don't know how to share our victimization and the pain that we've gone through. So let's get him justice. Share his videos, like and subscribe to all his channels across social media, whether it's David Quigley on Facebook or John F. Kennedy Jr. on YouTube, or whether it's going to the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com website, or buying his books or buying his pension. That's the way that we can support him. We can also give him a Cash App. Send a Cash App. Do it now, family. Let's do it now. In fact, I'm going to be the first example. Let's go ahead. It is. You go to the Cash App. Hold on. You go to the Cash App. You got one more minute, John, while I try to send this gift?
Yeah. Actually, Robin just handed me this.
Okay,
Robin
go ahead.
Robin made a video the other day that said me and you would be going live, and she said she'll give a gift to some people that share it. So Carol Christina and Kimberly Manning and Joe McCoy, you got a gift coming. So give me the address. Robin wants to send you a book or a pendant or something. I don't know what, but
That's so nice.
that's what she wants to do. So anyway, we need your address. That's Carol Christina, Kimberly Manning, and Joe McCoy, it looks like. And I'll make sure Robin gets distracted a lot, but I'll make sure she sends those to you, people. If you give me your address, so we have your address, we'll send you a little gift.
Now, how should they send the address?
I don't know if she was on Facebook, probably. So Messenger on Facebook might be the best, or my Gmail. That's John John JRONE at gmail.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm looking at my. Thank you, family. You all heard how you. John, say that one more time so I can put it in the chat.
John John JRONE, and that's at Gmail.
John JRONE.
Yep.
At gmail.com. That's how you can contact him, by email, family.
That's the best. Messenger, I get thousands of messages, so I don't always get messages. But on my email, I always check my email. So if they send me this thing that says, "Hey, I'm Kimberly Manning," I'll say, "Okay, give me your address." So that'll work great.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, Rockin' Robin. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to Cash App right now, and I'm going to put in your name, which is, it is $1 QUIET. Wait a minute. $QUIET. Well, you would think I couldn't spell. It's not QUIET. JOURNEY. David Quigley. That's you?
That's me.
Okay. David Quigley. And we're going to pay. We're going to start this off today with $100. Let's see. Gift. Let's see if I can find a gift. You're supposed to lead by example. This is where that's what I put 100 to David Quigley. And don't send it back, John, because you be sending me gifts. Do not. This is for
Well,
you and
thank
your
you so
lovely
much.
woman. You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. So, family, let's see. Please, family, do right now. If you appreciate his courage, his strength, his resolve to get this information out, to speak for all the victims of abuse, trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, MK Ultra. If you appreciate this man, this young man, for sharing his story, please send him a Cash App gift today at $1 Quiet Journey. So I'm going to show you all that I sent it. Look, you sent $100 to David Quigley. So, family, I want to hear his Cash App, please, going off. I want to hear it go ding, 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 ching. Please.
I haven't heard that sound for an awful long time.
Oh,
But
man.
thank you, sister.
You're welcome.
It's so appreciated. So
You're welcome. Because you're on assistant. Well, you're on disability. You have your woman to support, your wife. Your what else? You gotta live. You gotta eat. You have animals.
Oh yeah, I got a beautiful dog we rescued from the pound and a cat.
Wow.
But,
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I got more bills than I do with my disability check. So I've had some wonderful support because by the time the bills come around, it's like, how am I going to pay it this time? And then Daddy takes care of me. Or somebody will bless me with something, and I'll be able to pay my bills. So I'm about ready to cry.
Great. God is good, family. If you can, and if you want to say, I'm going to give, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll send you some. Send a heart. Put a heart in the chat. If you don't want to say it, if you want to say, I'll send you something, put it in the chat. Let them know you love them. I'm going to send you something, John, or I sent you something. If you don't want to talk about it, then put a heart in the chat, family, because this man has been very courageous, and we desire to help him and love on him and support him and just encourage him because he's so important to the work that we're doing here, family. You want to know what is his birth month? Are you able to tell that? Mia wants to know, John, what's your birth month in 1961? He might not know his birth month.
My real birthday was the 25th, November 25th, 1960. They gave me the birthday as David Quigley, January 15th of 1966. This was already after I was 6 years old. So they did a lot of trying to make people not figure out who I actually was and how old I actually was. And yeah, it ended up doing more harm to me than good, I think.
Wow. Well, thank you, John. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your courage. And more than your story, thank you for sharing your life path, the things you've been through in life. But now I'm gonna end with this. People are saying they're going to send you something. I see hearts. Thank you, family. What's for you in the future? What are you working towards? We might want to support that too.
Yeah, just getting the truth out, however possible, just to wake up the people that are not awake to the crime that's going on right in front of them.
All right. Well, that's it, family. He wants to continue to get the word out, continue to speak on behalf of the victims, and to get justice for him. Justice for John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. is justice for us all. We are one, and where we go one, we go all. Having said that, family, thank you for your time. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for the donations you're sending to $Quiet Journey. Thank you for buying from our beloved brother, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for loving on him and his amazing companion, Rockin' Robin. We love you, family. We'll see you on the other side. John, will you come back?
Oh, most definitely. Thank you. All you got to do is ask.
Okay, my great pleasure. I love you, JFK Jr. Thank you, family. Family, we'll see you later. We appreciate you so very much.